A few years ago, I made a video talking about my concerns for the future of data storage on consoles because the games were just getting so big and the storage was costing so much and it was reaching a breaking point. And I didn't know how studios and game companies and the big 3 were going to handle this. And the first domino fell when Nintendo did their whole game key cards thing. And that did not go over well with the community at large. And I am one of the people that do not like that. If I'm buying a physical product of a game, I want the game to be on that physical product. This keeps going down the road of you will own nothing and be happy. And I'm not a fan of that at all. Pirate Nation on X, Sony has patented a new asset streaming system that aims to reduce the size of PS5 and PS6 games to combat rising SSD prices, potentially shrinking initial downloads from 100 gigs to around 100 MB, which how would that even be done? Unless it's basically the equivalent of a streaming game on a game key card. High detail assets would stream from Sony servers on demand while core game logic runs locally on the console. I will tell you right now, it might seem like a way to bypass the current constraints to get this through. This is the biggest red flag you could see for the future of the game industry, because the enshittification of everything eventually will creep itself in. And it might even start out as, oh, it actually doesn't cost you anything. It's part of the game. You're buying the game. You can do this, and it's just more affordable for you. And then they require the monthly payment, the service charge, the PS Plus membership. Oh, you want the higher streaming quality? You want it to be 4K? You want it to look better? Oh, that's going to be the next tier up. Oh, you want to actually be able to play the game without the hiccups and problems? Oh, you want to make sure you get this tier here. This is madness. This should scare the absolute shit out of you for the future of gaming and affordability. Even though they say right now, lowering SSD storage needs, it remains only a patent and is not confirmed for release. But my goodness, the fact that they're even going down this road with their thought process, again, should scare the absolute shit out of you. Notebook check. Sony patent could dramatically downsize PS5 and PS6 games, addressing high SSD prices. Maybe that would address it right now. What about 5 years from now, or whenever this comes out, or 10 years from then? How much is it going to cost to stream the games? How can you guarantee the prices and lower them and anything like that? You can't. That's why this is scary. Despite advancements, cloud gaming still has downsides compared to playing titles locally. And the bandwidth that it's going to take to do that, you need, even if it's free from Sony, you need to pay your internet company to stream that. A Sony patent balances both approaches, leading to smaller PS5 and PS6 game installations. Executables would run on a console, minimizing latency and the need for storage updates, which I'm on board with. Totally get it. And I think that is great. There would be no latency issues, because even if the internet jitters and messes it up and goes out, it would just turn to all the blocks, but you could still move it just as fine and no issues. So you could at least pause the game if it's not an online game. The demand for AI data centers have driven up memory and SSD prices. PlayStation fans with large libraries often delete titles rather than expanding PS5 storage. A new Sony patent suggests a way to trim file sizes without the drawbacks of cloud gaming. Tech for Gaming found a document with a publication date of February 4th, 2026. Although the patent had a similar goal to a July 2025 filing, it outlines a different method for down. So this tells you that they've been researching this for years and updating it and trying to improve it behind the scenes. Even though nothing's officially been announced, if you're going to keep coming out with patents in this area, you got to think eventually they're going to go down this road with things. And potentially PS6 games. The concept involves downloading only critical assets or a launcher for a title. Code would run on a console or other device rather than a server, significantly reducing latency. Great. What about all the other hurdles I just mentioned, though? The Sony patent titled Asset Streaming System and Method admits that lower quality textures and audio are possible. A high bandwidth internet connection would likely still be necessary for the best experience. Even so, competitive gamers may finally have a cloud gaming alternative without delay inputs. How small would future games be? For PS5 games where timing isn't critical, a massive reduction in installation sizes is the main appeal. The install package may only be 100 MB instead of 10 gigs or 100 gigs. As gameplay progresses, the process download files as needed while deleting unnecessary assets. That sounds like a gigantic waste of data where it's constantly downloading new information and deleting old information as you play. Unlike Xbox Series X owners, PlayStation users have more third-party PS5 storage upgrade options. Nevertheless, high SSD prices often force gamers to rethink purchasing the accessories. The hybrid cloud local solution also has obvious benefits for Sony's upcoming console. How about compressing games better and learning how to utilize the assets better? Nintendo is able to do it, and I understand the games aren't as high quality or graphic fidelity than the other ones. I understand that, but their games are literally like 1/100th the size. Like they're not even close. I feel like they could learn to just shrink the size of their games if they are able to work better with the assets that they're putting into it. But hey, maybe that's asking too much. Next generation AAA games are likely to consume even more space on systems. Could you imagine how big they're going to be for the next console? Already have games approaching 400 or 500 gigs right now. Patent offers relief with buyers already concerned about a higher than anticipated PS6 price. Does anybody even have an interest in the PS6? Like, honest question. I live, eat, breathe, sleep in this world, and I don't care about a PS6. At this point, it's PC or bust for me. Like, why is Sony continuing going down this road of we need to keep making the consoles? That is so outdated. It's not even funny. The only reason I could make an excuse for I understand why a console is necessary is what Nintendo does. They go their own way. They do their own thing, and they have so many incredible IPs that you can only get on their console. So it makes sense. For Sony, it's like, nah, I'm good. I can play plenty of other games, and plus, you guys always default to putting your games on PC anyways. I don't care enough. I really don't. While the manufacturer may opt not to raise the console's storage capacity, the technology could prove impractical. Lower latency is an advantage, but it's unclear to what degree image and sound clarity would be compromised. And it comes from Tech for Gamers. But this whole situation blows my mind on so many fronts. And I understand that there are positives to it. I just am overwhelmingly concerned with it because I understand how these companies work with the enshittification and making things more expensive as they go. Cave says, people are mad about this, and rightfully so. But how exactly do you combat huge games are getting? Yes, games should be more compressed, but I imagine telling devs they need to make their games smaller is easier said than done, and they don't want to risk losing third parties. Fair enough. My follow-up question to that would be, if you can't do that, if you can't optimize the games, if the technology or what goes into a game to making it so large has outpaced the ability to create the storage in the first place, then you need to not make that console. You need to start making these games smaller. It's just not feasible. That's like saying just because you can make it doesn't necessarily mean you should make it yet. Maybe you should wait until the technology catches up. Because to me, this is starting to feel an awful lot like the Neo Geo back in the day, which you could say amazing console, could play arcade quality games at home in the 90s, which was insane for the early 90s. for the quality of the games. But then you looked at the price, and it was, if you do the plus inflation with modern prices, you're in the thousands of dollars. And the games were thousands of dollars after inflation. It wasn't economical to do it. So sure, the people with all the money could get them, great. But if you're trying to reach the masses, this is not the approach that I would suggest to take. It's very concerning. Pirate Nation says, you will own nothing. I said, thanks. I hate it. Max, why can't they just make games smaller without storing assets in a server? Billion-dollar company, by the way. Great point. Great point. Spreadsheeticus says, there it is. The AI data centers are just a scam to build out the necessary infrastructure to deliver people's home computers as a service to a thin client. Fuck these people. And I'm blocked. I agree with you. Why am I blocked by this guy? All these people. It's funny. Anonymous, you will own nothing, not even the textures in the video games you buy, and you'll be happy. I think that this is wild, because this is what I talked about with Jeff Bezos the other day, when he's like, yes, the future is going to be cloud computing, and people are going to not own their computers. They're going to be renting server space, and everything's going to be digital and online, and it's just going to be a screen connecting to a little box that all your actual data is somewhere else. That is the future that they are trying right now to build out. I would say trying. That's the future they are building out right now. These multi-gazillionaires that are creating the world want you to own nothing. They want you on a monthly plan for everything you do. They want to just keep squeezing every single month and getting more and more money out of you. The worst thing that happened to humanity was the monthly charge. Because once that caught on, once the Netflixification of, oh, it's just a monthly fee, I can pay that every month. Once people start doing that, oh, it's just my phone bill, I can pay that every month. Oh, it's just my internet. Oh, it's just my water. It's just my electrical. It's just my computer fee. It's just my car payment, my insurance payment, my tax payment, holy fuck, bro. Can I just have my computer and play my game? Thanks. I would like that very much. Thank you very much. This is the world we've turned it into. And if people continue to keep buying into it, it's only going to keep getting worse and worse. I don't know how far this is going to go, but this patent from Sony sure as shit scares me a lot. I'll leave that there. Sergeant Sapient, legendary mod for the 5-banger. From what it sounds like, it's not streaming video data. Game assets are streamed down and presumably cached locally. So in theory, no latency. Now, I understand that, but then it gets into how much is it going to cost? How much data is that coming through? And of course, they will. They might not start out with it, but I promise you, I'd be willing to bet everything I have. Eventually, it's going to turn into a monthly fee to be able to do it. You just wait. You just wait.